Good morning from the Valley of Joy. How are you? Got a question for you. Are you and your team or your staff acting out of trauma? Big topic, I know, for a morning. But when you think about it, you often see in cultures claims of bullying and harassment, or this subtle undercurrent of unspoken things, of assumptions, of tension. But first, let me show you the valley that we're in. Dawn of a new day. The sun's just starting to peep over the mountains. And so I'm off for a week facilitating a large piece of some culture work for a large organisation. And I have no doubt that I'll be seeing trauma playing out in some of the people there. Because essentially most times when I go into workplaces, it's like I'm seeing children in adult bodies and they're all bumping into each other because they haven't possibly dealt with stuff from the past. And that's understandable because we're not brought up and trained or taught how to release trauma from our DNA and our cells. And by trauma, I don't mean everyone has lived through a Holocaust or been in a war zone or had some horrible incident or violence towards them. Trauma could be as simple as their mother did controlled crying and so they have a sense of abandonment. It could be as simple as they went shopping with their mum one day as a little child and got lost, right? And were lost for an hour or something, and that created trauma. It could be that you were smacked as a child. It could be anything at all that then creates a sense of unsafeness, a sense of I'm alone or I need to protect myself, I'm not safe. And then what happens in workplaces is we play that out. We know that there's a culture change coming up or a realignment of staff and we feel a sense of abandonment or fear that we're going to be unsafe. And so we act out as if we're still children in lots of ways. And so many leaders, I think, don't realise that they're not just leading a team and managing the work. They've actually got a collective of people that they're in some ways doing therapy with. And we're doing it day by day as we just bump into each other, interact and exchange, work on team building, work on a project, give feedback, work on getting something off the ground, launching something, all of that. We're still working through our stuff. And that's really a very personal thing because it's different for every person and it's our responsibility to work through that. But leaders can do a lot to create a safe culture and environment where people are able to face some of those things and to do the work. And that's what's most valuable here for leaders to know. You don't have to learn to become a therapist, but you do have to learn how to create a safe environment. That's of utmost imperative. So are you creating safe environments if you're a leader for your staff? Are you at least understanding how some of their behaviours and patterns may not be what's actually going on now, and their responses may seem larger than the actual event? Then that's no doubt because they're playing out some of that trauma in their body. And so even just understanding that so that your response is also not blown out of proportion can be really helpful. And then encouraging people to do the work, self-development, going to a counsellor or therapist, doing body work, movement, breath work, meditation. Do you create space for meditation in your workplace or mindfulness? Do you encourage people to take breaks and holidays when they need to so they don't get overstressed and overwhelmed? Because that's when all of this will bubble to the surface. Because holding down some of that tension takes a lot of energy. And so you may wonder why my team aren't as productive as they could be, because they're expending all this energy managing the emotions that are going on for them. And so the more they're able to lighten up, to let go of some of those beach balls that they're holding under the water and trying with all their might to contain their emotions, once they let go of some of those, then they can experience light as well. And the lighter we are, the more joyful we are, the happier we are, the better our experience of life and of work. So if you're a leader, did you ever wonder that you're also a counsellor? And do you feel like sometimes you're managing a schoolyard with all the little kids in it? It's a very big reality, and it's a very big responsibility. So take it wisely. Take time to really acknowledge and understand that. Have a great day wherever you are. Au revoir.